Dear guests, my name is Agnieszka Gładysz and I am representing the Office of Electronic Communications, Department of Strategy and Analysis. Today I will talk about the inventory process in the Office of Electronic Communication. I plan to focus on the inventory system, legal framework, data usage, and the inventory collection methods.
My name is Małgorzata Riley and I'm a Senior Specialist in the Office of Electronic Communications. Later in the presentation, I'll be showing you how information included in information system on broadband infrastructure is used by the Office to data share and prepare market reports and analysis.
Our experience in collecting telecom infrastructure data embraces already 10 years. It is worth to know why we decided to collect this information and then use them to map the broadband infrastructure in Poland. First of all, one of the important reasons was that in 2009 in Poland we had very low internet broadband penetration rate. Another reason was that some operators in Poland already started to invest their private money in infrastructure deployment. Another reason was that to accelerate broadband infrastructure development, it happened that some money appeared in the European Union for that purpose. Another reason was that we need to map this information to help to remove some barriers in the investment process in Poland. And what is very important, if we want to accelerate the development of this sector, we need to know where the infrastructure already existed in Poland. In 2010, the Polish government enacted the Broadband Act, also known as Mega Law, which supports the development of telco services and telco networks. It was a key act to start the inventory of telecommunication infrastructure and telecommunication services. Article 29 of the Broadband Act defined the scope and details of the inventory information. As the Office of Electronic Communication, we were obliged to gather information on the existing telecommunication networks, including optic links, wireless networks, and buildings which enabled collocation. The same article also defined the group of entities which were obliged to provide the information. In the group, we could have found telecommunication operators, local government units, and public utility enterprises. Article 29 of the Broadband Act also precised the data frequency reporting. Operators, local government units, public utility enterprises were obliged to provide the information once a year by the end of March for the data which was updated at the end of the previous year. The slide shows which entities are active during the inventory process. Almost 2,900. The slide shows which entities are active during the inventory process. Almost 2,900 of telco operators provide the information during the inventory process. 500 of local government units and 80 of public utility enterprises. All of them prepare their reports and provide during the inventory process as they possess their own infrastructure. It shows how dispersed is Polish telco market. I will give you some historical backgrounds which is very important for the inventory of telecommunication infrastructure and services. In 2011, the Minister of Digital Affairs issued the Ordinance on the inventory of telecommunication infrastructure and public telecommunication networks. The Ordinance just specified the general principles which were already given in the Broadband Act. Both of these legal acts also gave the foundation for the information system on broadband infrastructure. On the basis of Ordinance, we were obliged to gather information including routes of backbone and distribution networks, location of telecommunication hubs, location of network links, and location of the buildings which enable collocation. It wasn't the end of the legal changes. In 2014, the Minister of Digital Affairs enacted the second ordinance on the inventory of the telecommunication services and infrastructure, which expanded the first ordinance, which was still in force. According to a new ordinance, we were allowed additionally to gather information on the buildings within network coverage and telco services provided on the market. In the information system on broadband infrastructure, we implemented the model of the network, which is compatible with the regulation and consists of 3 layers. First of all, backbone layer. This is the top layer of the public telecommunication networks and aggregates traffic from the lower layers of the public telecommunication networks. Distribution networks. It is also the public telecommunication networks which connects the backbone nodes and aggregates traffic from the end users. And the access networks, which is the lowest layer of the public telecommunication networks and links the telecommunication traffic aggregation points from the telecommunication terminal equipment. In our model network, which we implemented in the information system on broadband infrastructure, nodes are connected either by cable lines, especially by fiber optic lines, or radio lines. The leased lines are represented by the relation, and the coverage of the access network is represented by the building supplied by the access nodes. On the slide, you can see the results of the inventory of telecommunication infrastructure and services. Every year, we gather more and more information. At the end of 2018, we gather almost 45 million of different elements of the infrastructure. You can see that the number of cable connectors, fixed and wireless lines, and number of nodes is increasing year by year. And that means that the investment process in Poland is still ongoing. In order to facilitate data transfer, we have prepared some dedicated tools for telco operators. MiniSys is a tool for small and medium enterprises. This one is easy and friendly to use with tutorials and guidelines. Another tool is NDDO. This one is for the big operators, which enables to integrate their own in-house systems with the information system on broadband infrastructure. During the reporting period, all of our experts are ready to answer any questions. We provide help desk and support ISP in the process of data reporting using different channels of communication. The data we use during the inventory process are very useful, not just for the Office of Electronic Communication, but also for the whole market. They help to designate areas for the Digital Poland program. They enable to verify of the objects for purposes of sharing. They are also used as a possibility or identifying areas at risk of digital exclusion and barriers to the development of broadband services. They are using the analysis which help to prevent of infrastructure duplication. They provide very useful information for spatial planning. They indicate economically viable areas. We share this information with many other parties. Most of them are publicly available, and you can find them on the website which is shown on the slide. Including all of this information, you can just upload it and use it for your own analysis. On the basis of the information from the inventory process, we also started an engine search tool which helps these citizens to check what kind of information. The data we gathered during the inventory process are publicly available. Almost all of them can be uploaded from the website with open data and can be used for other analysis performed by different entities. On the basis of this information, a few years ago, we built also the search engine which allows the citizens to check what kind of operators and what kind of services are available at their place of residence. They can also send the report demand if they want to get the better service or they want to get the service at all because nobody is already present in their area of living. We also prepared Mapbook, tool dedicated for the local authority units, where they can check how the situation of broadband access looks in the local area. We use this information for different analysis, including also our annual report on the state of telecommunication market in Poland.
In this part, I would like to present how the Office of Electronic Communications uses data stored in the information system on broadband services to share data with public, with consumers, and with internet providers, as well as local governments across Poland. The first tool that we share the data through is the infrastructure search engine, which also has a service demand option. This tool is useful for verifying and checking existing infrastructure for telecommunications under a specific address and in a specific area. It provides information on services, nodes, BTS towers, lines, and other telecommunication infrastructure available under a given address. It provides that data in the form of a map, which is downloadable in various formats like CSV, PDF, and Excel sheets. It also gives information in the form of tables for analysis. This is how the search engine looks on the website, and it has a number of functionalities. First of all, we have to type in an exact address that we want to research in the area that is marked by the red box at the moment. Once this is filled out, we are presented with the area of that address and a general map of services provided in that area. It's worth noting that that lines drawn between nodes do not represent a physical location of those lines. It's just to represent which nodes are connected in what way between each other. We can choose which particular elements of the telecommunication system we would like to view by ticking a box, one of the boxes in the indicated red square under the address. We can also extract a table for the address, which will provide us with a list of internet providers or service providers under the address with some details on what type of services they provide to the consumer. We can also click on each particular element of the telecommunication infrastructure presented in the map, and we'll be able to view the technical details of that element. The service also allows the public or the consumer to request a service under a certain location, and this is done by the consumer or end user or whoever needs a service that's not available at the moment, through just a simple press of a button and filling out a table on where the service is needed, what kind of service is requested. This data or this information is gathered in the tool and then made available to providers who can indicate what area they're interested in and to view what kind of requests from the consumers are placed in that particular area. The provider can then generate a table of service demands from that area, and this might be a useful tool of indicating where the investments are required and perhaps where it would be profitable to invest in the telecommunications infrastructure. Another tool is a map book. This is a map presenting a broadband network across Poland that offers services of 30 megabits per second and more. It is a readable map that shows black spots and white spots. It also shows areas where there's investment carried out by investors with the assistance of EU funds. It's very simple to update, and with the evolution of this tool, the Office of Electronic Communications have been informing about its functionalities all the local governments, so they could develop their strategies for telecommunications infrastructure development locally. And this is how the map works. This is an example of a random area in Poland, and we can clearly see various colored dots. Red dots are the white spots where there's no internet provided at the moment. Black dots are the areas where there is internet of at least 30 megabits per second provided at the moment, and various degrees of blue spots, which indicate investment from the digital program Operational Poland. Under the map, there are some location information on the actual map viewed and a detailed legend which can indicate when the investments will be completed, when they were taking place. Another part that I would like to present is market reports and analysis. We use data from the SIS system extensively to monitor and analyze telecommunications market in Poland. One thing that we monitor every year is the household penetration with fixed internet availability. Penetration being the number of households in the designated area with internet available to them to the number of households, total number of households in that area. So for the 30 megabits per second, that index rose to 72% at the year end 2019, which was almost 5% increase year on year. By viewing the map, we can see which areas are highly populated, highly penetrated with high-speed internet, and which areas are still requiring more investment. The same analysis is done for the internet of 100 megabits per second speed. The average household penetration with high-speed internet was 59% at the year end 2019. We can see large differences between areas in Poland. The voivodeship with the highest penetration of fixed internet of 100 megabits per second was Śląskie, and in there the index was recognized at the level of 84%. In contrast, Świętokrzyskie province recorded only 40% penetration rate for internet of 100 megabits per second. The data also shows us that over 60% households across Poland have internet with a download speed of more than 30 megabits per second, which then is translated to the satisfaction of 85% of respondents in our customer survey done in 2018. We can also see where the infrastructure is duplicated, where there's no infrastructure just yet, and at the end of 2019, 54% of households could choose between at least two providers in their area for internet. The data is also used for market analysis, carried out in the process of creating regulation for the country. For the markets 3A and 3B, it allowed us to carry out geographical market segmentation. This was only possible because the data available in the system is available for the address level. Therefore, we could analyze infrastructure situation at the level of each single commune. For the market 3E, we can see that as a consequence of being able to divide the market geographically, we could differentiate significant differences between non-regulated and regulated areas. In regulated areas, only 24% households have 3 or more ISPs available to them. And in contrast, non-regulated areas, that index is at the level of 68%. For the market 3B, the difference is even bigger. In non-regulated areas, 74% households have 3 or more ISPs available to them, whereas in regulated areas, there's only 18% households with 3 or more providers available to them, and 62% households don't have a choice of a provider. They can only use one provider, or 20% not even one provider for the internet. To summarize some key points at the end, the information system on broadband infrastructure is crucial for the functioning of Polish telecommunications market, and it's only possible to do so through proper legislation. Legislation is crucial to create a system with transparent and thorough information about the telecommunication infrastructure, which then is used to stimulate further investment. We also realize that transparent, clear, and accurate information in the system is very important for the digitalization process, GIS development, and open data strategy for Poland. The availability of data in the system allows local governments, internet providers, regulators to make data-driven decisions, which then should have best impact on the market itself and benefit the consumers the most. However, the most important aspect of the accuracy of the data, its transparency and widespread availability, is creation of a friendly environment for investment and development of the ICT sector. Our role is to create a platform for communication between consumers, providers, regulators, and local governments to benefit all parties. Thank you very much, and I would like to invite you to ask questions in our live chat after this presentation.